Hey everyone, Tasha here, and today we're going to talk about starting new builders. And what I made for you guys today is a template for an actual recruiting conversation so you can know how to explain the business to people. If you want that template, then go ahead and just comment template below. It's going to be super helpful. So let's talk about how to start new builders. And I think a really good goal is to try to start at least one or two new builders per month. And that might seem like a lot, but let's get into like some of the challenges that people have and then some of the most important principles. And I think that's going to help a lot. All right, here we go. Okay, so when it comes to starting new builders, what happens if we get this wrong, right? If we struggle to get new builders started, we get overwhelmed, right? And then just like stop inviting people, right? They get overwhelmed, which is not good. And so they quit. And then overall, what happens is the business stalls out, no growth, right? And it's kind of this like, what am I even doing? I am super curious if any of these relate to you, or which of these top three challenges relate to you the most when it comes to starting new builders. And this is common for whether people are just starting their team or even as they grow six figures and beyond. Now, if we get this right, we can start 1 to 2 new builders each month. So I want you to imagine 12 months from now what it would look like if you had started a bunch of people, probably not so attached to the outcome, probably be able to have more fun and find 1 or 2 like really good people. If we're starting 1 or 2 people a month over the course of a year, we'll probably get some really, a couple really good people out of that. It builds confidence for you and your team, and then recruiting, right? If people can get started successfully, it's just way, way, way more fun. So if you want 1 to 2 new people each month, confidence and fun when it comes to your network marketing business, you're in the right spot. So let's go over some of these 5 key principles. Okay, so the first one here is invite each person to a recruiting conversation. Now, this is just like what it is. And what all a recruiting conversation is a business overview. So if you want the template that I have for my clients, you can just write template in the comments. We'll make sure to get it for you. But you want to invite each person. We have a client named Wendy. And Wendy, I don't know if you're watching this, but you can attest to this. She told me yesterday in our Customer First Sales Mastermind, she has, I think, 4 new builders ready to start this month. And the line that she is using is she starts off with, I don't want to make any assumptions, and then invites them to a recruiting conversation. And she's getting so many more people interested. And I think a big mistake that a lot of people make is they assume someone doesn't want to do the business. And I think that's like making decisions for other people and not really all that awesome to do. I don't think you'd want other people making decisions for you. And so in order to not make decisions for other people, we're just going to invite each person to a business overview or recruiting conversation, whatever you want to call it, just for this purposes of today. We'll just call it a specific conversation about recruiting. Think about it. We invite people to a class or a party or a conversation to buy $100 or $150 worth of product. We're asking them to do the business. A lot of people's recruiting is like, want to do the business? It's super helpful to actually have a separate full conversation so that people can decide if it's a good fit or not. Now, when it comes to this recruiting conversation, the objective is their first event, not to plan their entire life. right? We want to make it light and easy. We don't want it to be like an interview. And where I see people get stuck a lot is they're like, I want to make sure this person is serious. And the only way to know if someone is serious or not is to invite them into action. So the objective at the end of a recruiting conversation, kind of like at the end of a sales conversation, the objective is a sale. The end of a recruiting conversation is to set up the first event. Number 3, this attitude, whatever they want after that is okay. This is the concept of being unattached to the outcome. So it's like, kind of like this. You know, our goal, let's set up the first event, see how you like it, and then whatever you decide after that is okay with me. Let's at least just get this first few people gathered up. And then that way, it's not so much pressure on you to set them up perfectly for the rest of their business, and it's not so much pressure for them to say, like, am I in or am I out, right? Like, they can really just try it and see how it goes. Focus on the event, and this is where I get maybe a little controversial. No training, no Facebook groups to add them to, no podcasts or whatever. All we want them to do is set up the event and invite to the event. This is the part here where new people get really, really overwhelmed. So we don't want to do that. And then the 5th is have fun. If starting people isn't fun, we're doing it wrong. I was chatting with one of my one-on-one clients last night. She's awesome. She's a superstar in her company, and she makes over 6 figures. And we were talking about recruiting, and I said, I bet you $1 million this is your recruiting pitch. It's something like, hey, you know what would be really, really fun is let's do a little gathering. Let's see how it goes, and it could be really, really fun. And she just starts laughing. She's like, that's totally what I do. I said, that's what you're doing well. The people on your team are struggling with their recruiting because they're making it too serious. They're trying to be like, do you want to do the business? And here are all the responsibilities, right? And I think it's really important to focus on getting people started versus finished, having fun, and enjoying the experience. When it's fun and enjoyable, more people are going to want to do it, including you. And this is, I think, one of the keys to motivation in your network marketing business. So let's just do a quick recap. Number 1, invite each person to a recruiting conversation. Number 2, the objective at the end of the recruiting conversation is to set up their first event. After that, whatever they want to do is okay. We're going to focus on the event, not training, Facebook groups, podcasts, et cetera, and have fun during the process. One of the things that I made for you here, actually, if you give me a second, I think I could probably pull it up, is a template for a recruiting conversation. Can't even type right now. Recruiting conversation. Template. This is the one. That's not the one. I'll have to, if you guys want a template that goes over like all the different important parts of the recruiting conversation to make sure you touch on so someone can make a good decision, then just type template below in the chat. If you want actual help and coaching or a mastermind on this, like I told you about our client Wendy, who's planning on starting 4 new builders this month. If you want to chat about the mastermind that she's doing, then you can just type mastermind in the comments, and we will connect with you and give you the details and hopefully help you out so we can get the new year started strong and finish the end of this year strong. Hope you guys all have a great day, and we will chat soon, I hope. Bye.